Good evening, I'm Zandro Ochona. Here's a wrap of today's biggest stories on Newsfeed Weekend. President Marcos claps back on VP Sara on thanking him for having renewed ties with FPRRD. NSC questions China amid arrest of 3 Filipinos on alleged espionage. Judge orders return to U.S. of a man wrongly deported to El Salvador. NBI set to help identify remains in Myanmar. And a look at the brightest stars that grace the Solaire North red carpet this weekend. Today's top story, Vice President Sara Duterte confirmed she is set to return to the country after almost a month of stay in The Hague following the ICC arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. The VP earlier gave the credit to PBBM for renewed ties with her father.
This really is ironic, but I have to thank Bongbong Marcos because there was forgiveness between me and PRD for all that has happened in our lives. Sad lang that it has to happen inside the ICC.
Officer Claire Castro said the president replied to VP Sara's statement saying, "Glad I could help."
Mas maganda po siguro kung magpasalamat muna si VP Sara sa kanyang ama mismo, kay dating Pangulong Duterte. Dahil kung siya man po ay nagkaroon ng pagkakataon at nagkaroon ng oras kasama ang kanyang ama, ay dahil ito sa kasong EJK.
The National Security Council is raising questions on the arrest of 3 Filipinos for spying on China, saying China is just retaliating for the series of legitimate arrests of Chinese agents and their accomplices in recent months. In a statement, NSC Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya said the arrested Filipinos were recipients of the Hainan Government Scholarship Program and that the alleged confession by the arrested Filipinos appears to be scripted, which mentioned a non-existent Philippine Intelligence Agency or Philippine Spy Intelligence Services. NSC is urging the Chinese government to respect their rights and accord them due process considering the gravity of the accusation. A judge in the U.S. ruled on Friday that the Trump administration must send back to Maryland a man who was wrongly deported to El Salvador within 3 days. This is the latest setback for the Trump administration's strict deportation policies. Kilmar Abrego Garcia was deported in error as part of the 3 plane loads of migrants flown out last month on alleged ties to violent gangs. Garcia, a Salvadoran migrant, lived in the U.S. legally with a work permit. The U.S. government has already acknowledged this error but argues they do not have legal authority to bring him back. The U.S. Justice Department is set to make an appeal on the case. The Philippine Embassy in Myanmar confirms a team from the Philippine National Bureau of Investigation will help in identifying remains following the magnitude 7.7 earthquake in Myanmar. The team from NBI Disaster Victim Identification Division is expected to arrive in Mandalay tomorrow to secure tissue samples collected from unidentified remains from the Sky Villa site, the embassy said on their Facebook account. This measure will confirm if the remains belong to the 4 missing Filipinos after the deadly quake. Here in Manila, NBI will also collect samples from the families of the missing Filipinos to help identify the bodies. The Philippine Embassy also provided transportation and temporary accommodations to the first batch of Filipinos who availed of the embassy's voluntary relocation program for OFWs affected by the quake. And in sports, the De La Salle University Lady Spikers are on arrow's point in today's women's volleyball tournament against the University of the East Lady Warriors. Currently standing on a 7-3 record, the Lady Spikers are eyeing their third consecutive win this season. As of April 2, the Lady Bulldogs remain atop the standings, followed by the Spikers and Tamaraos. At the bottom two are Adamson University Falcons and the Lady Warriors with a score of 0-10. Let's now take a look at the brightest stars that grace the Solaire North red carpet this weekend. Entrepreneur and actress Ann Curtis is Metro Mag's best dressed for her custom Nicole and Felicia Rose gown, perfect for the ball's spring formal theme. Nicole and Felicia has dressed some of the biggest names in Hollywood, including Taylor Swift, Priyanka Chopra, and Rita Ora. Meanwhile, Piolo Pascual and Paul Cabral is Metro's lad of the night, all suited up in a classic green tuxedo. Catherine Bernardo was also an absolute head-turner in an Anthony Ramirez classic and song. Thank you for watching. I'm Zandro Ochona. Stay tuned. Billionaire News Channel is on Free TV, Channel 31, SkyCable Channel 33, Converge 74 and 24 on Cignal. Also, check our website, bnc.ph. Good evening.